This episode is sponsored by Agent CRM. If you're in sales and tired of paying 3, 4, or 5 different companies for your email, CRM, funnels, phone, follow-up automation, check out Agent CRM. It's an all-in-one tool that combines all that you need to reach out, nurture, and close your clients. They've got weekly support calls so you can get up and running in no time. Get a free 14-day trial by going to the link below in the show notes. So let's go on to the second sneaky thing that businesses aren't maybe aware of.
Sure. Going back to this idea of that, we're focused on marketing and sales and revenue, and there are things out there that are sort of lurking to harm businesses, and don't take offense, Dan, but some of them involve lawyers, and we see things happen to people that I believe in the concept of prevent the preventable, avoid the avoidable. There are no surprise risks. We know everything that can happen. We've seen everything that can happen. They are only unaddressed risks, unplanned for risks. So I'll give you a couple of examples. I was working with a company that was, 80 million, 100 million in annual revenue. For whatever reason, the owners didn't really believe much in liability insurance, didn't really believe in insurance much at all, and had such a minimal amount that if they had any significant catastrophe, and they were in a business where the operation of the business could have harmed a large number of people all at once. I'll just say that. And when it comes to risk management, I don't believe, risk and insurance, that they're not religions. They're nothing to believe in. You either are going to suffer a large economic loss or you're not. You're either going to transfer that risk or not. So there's only 3 things you can do with risk. You can transfer the risk to an insurance company by paying an insurance premium. You can retain the risk and be self-insured. So if you transfer the risk, you are insured. You've paid a premium to someone else to have their checkbook come into play. If you retain the risk, you are self-insured, but only to the extent that you have the financial assets to address it. So if your warehouse is worth $3 million, you could pay a few $1,000s a year and have the warehouse rebuilt if it burns to the ground. Or you could say, I'm not going to waste that $3,000. I'll rebuild. What's the chances of my warehouse burning down? If you don't have the 3 million, if you have the 3 million, you are self-insured. But dollar for dollar, you're an insurance company of one, and it's dollar for dollar. I got to liquidate $3 million from somewhere and give it to somebody for wood and metal and labor. And of course, you're uninsured if you still have this risk and don't have the money. And so there's nothing to believe in. It's one of 3 scenarios. And for the large, devastating financial risk, transferring the risk makes the most economic sense. You're transferring risk for pennies in the dollar. So what we find is a lot of businesses are grossly uninsured for liability, like general liability, commercial liability, things like that. But oddly, very few businesses are aware of something called business overhead expense interruption, where you have payroll, you have rent, you have supplier contracts, whatever, and maybe obligated marketing expenses. You're on a marketing budget or something. You can have these expenses covered should there be a catastrophic event that's covered by the policy. And the reason I say that is sometimes people don't understand that there are policy exclusions, things like acts of God and such. And but if you have, for example, a disability of the owner or death of the owner or something, or so taking those risks off the table for fractions of a penny on the dollar, so that they can pay your overhead and you can continue to pay your employees and not have to lay anybody off and not suffer this big financial backstep, this devastating backstep. So having a really good risk management plan, I think financial planning boils down to 2 very simple ideas with a lot of detail under each category. Step 1, avoid financial loss. Keep what you got, including money that you might earn in the future, right? So if you suffer a wage garnishment because on the personal side you're sued and don't have enough liability coverage, they're going to take a big chunk of everything you ever make. Well, that's it's really bad. And the chief financial success, whatever that means to you, right? Whatever your future goals might be.